The European Union has unveiled plans to sanction Israel. This would be a historical first. In her State of the Union address earlier this September, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen introduced several proposals targeting Israel over its actions in Gaza. While many of these proposals face resistance from member states and Europeans remain deeply divided, the Commission's proposals reflect a notable shift in attitudes toward Israel, one that's become increasingly visible across a majority of EU member states. The Commission President framed proposed measures in humanitarian terms, condemning the man-made famine in Gaza, calling for an immediate ceasefire, and demanding unrestricted humanitarian access. EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs Kaja Kallas echoed this humanitarian framing. Although not stated explicitly, a significant shift in public opinion, driven by images and reporting from Gaza, is translating into mounting political pressure within the EU. This unprecedented move comes after months of lobbying by European leaders, political groups, and even EU staffers. Hundreds of them have signed open letters urging the Commission to penalize Israel over its conduct in the war. So, what are these proposed measures? We can outline three main categories: sanctions on certain cabinet members and violent settlers in the West Bank, partial suspension of the EU-Israel trade agreement, and freezing of financial support. Let's break them down. First, the Commission proposed sanctioning National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, both of whom had already been banned from visiting certain EU countries. Israel condemned the proposal, with Foreign Minister Gideon Saar accusing the EU of empowering terrorist groups. Regarding aid, the EU proposes to freeze about $23 million, a symbolic sum that excludes support for civil society and for Yad Vashem, Israel's Holocaust Memorial Institution. The most impactful measure, though, from the three, concerns trade. While total EU-Israel trade reached $50 billion last year, only a portion of Israel's exports would be affected, resulting in estimated additional costs of over $200 million. How effective will these proposals be? That depends on the EU's decision-making process. Sanctions require unanimous approval from all 27 member states, making them difficult to pass. Countries like Germany and Hungary, long-standing supporters of either Israel or Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu specifically, could block them. However, trade-related measures only require a supermajority in the EU, making those proposals more likely to move forward. So, what does this all mean? The Union's decision-making process is slow and difficult because unanimity is required. With 27 countries holding diverse foreign policy views, the path toward consensus remains challenging. Still, the Commission's move is unprecedented and signals a widening diplomatic rift across the Mediterranean, pointing to Israel's increasing isolation on the global stage. At the same time, the EU proposed additional sanctions on Hamas members, pledged ongoing support for the Palestinian Authority, and announced plans for a new Palestinian donor group to finance Gaza reconstruction. The EU and its member states together remain the largest donor to the Palestinian territories. Calls for Palestinian statehood have also gained momentum in Europe. Ahead of the United Nations 80th General Assembly, France co-sponsored the New York Declaration with Saudi Arabia, calling for an end to the war in Gaza and recognition of the Palestinian state. The declaration gained significant support from 142 nations, including many EU members. France, along with Belgium, Luxembourg, and Malta, have announced they will recognize a state of Palestine at the UN General Assembly. So has the United Kingdom. Israel condemned the move as rewarding Hamas terrorism. This new rift marks a significant moment in EU-Israeli relations. Growing humanitarian concerns are now shaping policy discussions across Europe, adding political pressure. While divisions remain and the path forward is uncertain, the Commission's proposals reflect a broader debate within the EU about how to respond to the evolving situation in Gaza. The Europeans face a challenging road ahead to balance between their commitment to humanitarian principles, their support for a two-state solution, and at the same time preserving long-standing ties with Israel.